Ok ragazzi, ci siamo. Tra pochi minuti intervisterò Frank Zane, Mister America, Mister Mondo, 3 volte Mister Universo e 3 volte Mister Olympia. Sarò il primo italiano ad intervistare Frank e di questo sono molto orgoglioso. Se volete vedere sul canale altri contenuti simili, iscrivetevi. Detto questo, io vi auguro buona visione e adesso vi lascio l'intervista. So, when did you start training and why?
I started working out with weights at age 14, and basically I was looking for something to do to build myself up. I lived in a tough neighborhood, and basically I wanted to, build myself up so I could not have
Yes.
all these fights going on. And it worked. People saw that I got bigger and stronger, and then nobody picked up me after that. It didn't take long to grow muscle, and so I was encouraged by that, and I kept doing it.
And why did you choose to focus on proportion and definition instead of mass, while most of the others Mr. Olympia competitors focused on size?
I can't speak for them, but this is what came easy to me, so that's why I did.
Oh, okay. So, and during your career, did you ever think about quitting bodybuilding completely?
Uh, I can't I can't say that I ever did because I was always sort of close to it, so I was always pretty much involved with it. There's always times when you have doubts about what you should do for your future. So I'm sure that I went through some of that.
And if you could go back in time, would you do everything the same way?
I probably would. I don't see what other choice I'd have.
What would you change?
I really don't know.
Now let's talk about your training, the training method and your philosophy of training. Can you briefly explain your training method and philosophy?
Well, my goal is always to train on a regular basis, not miss workouts, get good workouts, always get a good pump, and to compete and to win competitions, which I did.
And has your training method changed over time, or did you always follow the same principles?
I'm sure it changed somewhat, but I can't really tell you how. But I always pretty much followed the same principles. Whatever got me results is what I did.
Another question that it's really interesting to me, it's why many other bodybuilders like Ronnie Coleman say you must lift heavy weights to build mass. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think you should go as heavy as you can in order to do the exercise with good form. And I did that actually. The way I trained is I went up in weight on every set. Each set was a little heavier than the previous set. And I always trained that way.
So, and how many sets, repetition, and exercises per week and per workout should someone do for each muscle groups?
What I did is I did 3 to 4 sets, 3 to 4 exercises for each muscle group, and anywhere from 3 to 4 or 5 sets. Generally, it was more work for bigger body parts like back and chest than it was for smaller body parts like forearms.
Have you ever created or invented any exercise, like a particular type of curl, of leg exercise?
I don't think I have. I just pretty much went along with what was available knowledge.
Are there any exercises you now consider harmful and stop doing?
Anything that was really heavy, like heavy squats or heavy deadlifts, I avoid those these days.
And which muscle groups were your weak points and needed more work?
I always sort of grouped them together. When I first started, I think I needed more calf work, so I did more calf exercises. But as time went on, I pretty much treated each body part the same.
And how long did your workouts last in the 70s and 80s? And how long they last today?
My workouts are anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And it's pretty much the same today, hour to an hour and a half.
So now I want to talk about nutrition. And in your opinion, what percentage of bodybuilding success come from nutrition?
Well, if you don't eat correctly and take supplements, you're not going to make maximum progress. So it's going to be different in each situation. It was
Sorry.
always very important to me to eat right.
And what kind of supplements?
I took vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and free-form amino acids.
So, and are the ideas in Zen nutrition still valid today, or they are
Yes,
outdated?
they are.
Okay, so
They're still valid, yes.
it's a nice book. I read it and I found it very interesting and informative.
Very good,
So-
thank you.
And what do you think about modern diet like ketogenic or high carbs?
I never followed a high carbohydrate diet. I was always a restricted carbohydrate diet because that's what worked best for me.
And how many hours of sleep did you get during your Olympia years? And how many do you recommend?
Usually 8 hours of sleep a night.
Now let's talk about the golden era period. Who was the funniest and who was the most competitive?
That I competed against, I have to say Arnold Schwarzenegger.
In fact, I found these pictures.
Okay.
Do you remember it or?
I think we were walking in Westwood, California when that was taken.
I know that you helped Arnold with math.
Yes.
And I also know that you and Arnold were good friends.
Yeah, we were friends. We trained together. We were always at the gym pretty much at the same time. So it was only natural that we contributed each other's workout and ideas.
So, and have you ever given advice to a young bodybuilder who later became famous?
I imagine so.
Do you think any of your rivals have been unfairly forgotten by history?
Unfairly forgotten?
Yes, like Mike Manser.
No, I don't think they were. I think they got a great publicity when they were in their best shape. So I don't think anything was unfair about the way they were treated.
And who best represents the true spirit of bodybuilding today?
I don't know. I guess it's the people who are winning the competitions. Well, the better your genetics, the more you can go, the further you can go. So it's great if you have good genetics, but if you don't, you can make up for it by training harder and being more strict on everything.
And what advice would you give to a young guy like me who wants to reach the top of this sport?
Keep training. Don't give up. Look for ways to make progress and continue it. Don't let other people or other things discourage you from your goal. I think it's important to have a goal and work toward it. Don't become discouraged. Stay with it. You know, you don't accomplish anything overnight, so you should realize that and stick with your goal.
Now, can you tell me about meditation?
Well, the key to meditation is to be able to empty your mind. And so the thing is, if you focus on something like your breathing or like a part of your body, like between your two eyes, you have a pinpoint to focus on. And when you do that, everything else tends to blend away and disappear. It's just challenging. It's not easy, and you have to keep doing it. You have to, work hard enough to be good at it. And if you are, you get results.
So it's like a formal workout.
Same idea, yeah.
What do you do during your rest day?
Well, mainly I rest. I do things that are relaxing. I don't do weight training, but I go for walks. I walk fast. It's the main thing that I do. Walk with my wife and my dog.
What can you say about the learn equation in bodybuilding?
Well, those are the four main variables: is exercise, your attitude, what you think about, what you say, what you do.
Yes.
Your recuperation or your relaxation, your ability to recuperate and relax, and nutrition, following good nutrition processes. Those are the main areas. On the days you don't train, you should be relaxing and resting. You don't work out all the time, so you should be able to relax. I did my best when I trained 3 days in a row and rested the fourth day.
Yes, and for definition, you did more work, I imagine.
I did more, yeah, more workouts, uh, posing more, especially more posing, tensing the muscles.
Yes, and for posing, I read in your book that you say that it's important to pose in an unsymmetrical way to look more symmetrical. So can you explain this concept? Because I think that it's very interesting.
Well, in a sense, what symmetry means is bilateral symmetry means your left side matches your right side. And so I always found it beneficial to do poses where I show a difference between my left side and my right side. It was more interesting. And so I always made it a point to pose that way where, for example, I didn't do a double bicep pose straight on, where each side matched the other side. I always put a little twist into it to make it look more interesting. And the more you practice, the better it's going to look, and the better shape you'll be, and the more definition you'll have.
If you had never chosen bodybuilding, what would your life path have been?
Nuclear physicist. It was always sets and reps, so it was a numbers game. And so I was always, at home with numbers, so it fit quite well.
In fact, I know that you were called a chemist.
That was a nickname I had. I was a chemistry major in college.
Did meditation directly influence your performance on stage?
Well, I think meditation has to do with you clearing your mind and emptying your mind so that, you have room for creativity.
And
You have to be able to empty your mind so you can let creative thoughts flow into it.
yes, and what role did the patience play in your philosophy of progress?
Well, I would try to be patient enough to allow things to happen that I was interested in having them occur. So I tried not to be impatient, give things a chance to work.
And you often talk about the mental side of bodybuilding. How important was visualization in your success?
One thing was I practiced was, you might call it right speech, was to avoid the use of negative body metaphors.
Yes.
Don't speak about your body in a negative way. Your body hears every word you say, so don't talk about it in a negative way. You want to think positively about it and say positive things about your body.
Do you believe the golden era proportions could ever return on today's stages?
Uh, I think that the top bodybuilders will always set the standard for what is acceptable in bodybuilding. And there are a number of people who are very good at it, who are competing these days, like Michael Hearn,
Yes.
who are very good. And I think that they'll have a great effect as to what the standard becomes in the near future.
When you hear the phrase the father of aesthetics, how does it feel?
I don't think about it very much.
And if you can give me some advice on life and others in general.
I think it's important not to spend your time worrying about things you have no control over, but things you cannot change. Go with what strong points you have and get them better, make them better and better over time.
Okay.
That's all you can do.
And now I've done a list with all your books, and I want to ask you if all your knowledge is write down, or there is something unpublished.
I think the best book is called The Zane Bodybuilding Manual.
Manuel, this one.
Yes, that has everything in it.
So
So I think if you have that, you're off to a good start.
So thank you so much, Frank, for this time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So Frank, thank you so much, and it was a great experience. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything.
Well, thanks very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Frank. Good evening.
Bye. Take care. Bye bye.
Ok ragazzi, ho appena finito l'intervista con Frank. Che dire, Frank è una persona squisita, disponibile e soprattutto molto paziente. Lo ringrazio profondamente per questa opportunità che mi ha concesso e in futuro, se vorrà, come penso, ci sarà sicuramente una seconda parte di questa intervista. Per ora io vi ringrazio per essere giunti fino a questo punto del video, iscrivetevi al canale e noi ci vediamo presto. Stay strong!